Okay, let's look at doing the eye. I'm going to just move this piece out of the way and then move this one into place. So with the eye, basically it's all edge loops. Okay, so if you go into border mode and select this border, what you would do, and first thing I need to do is just make sure that my image plane is actually exactly where it needs to be. It's a little bit off. I think that's close enough. So into border mode, I'm going to hold down Shift and then Scale. So that allows me to basically create an entire edge loop. And then as you do that, you'll be creating edge loops for each of these rows of polygons. And so you're basically doing every single row all at once. So you'll do this blue strip. Now, I created these templates, and I guess just as a disclosure here, they're not perfectly aligned to what a human would be. In other words, I purposely pulled out this portion in the corner of the eye in order for you to be able to see polygons from the side view. Normally, this whole grouping of polygons would be tucked in around, for example, whoops, I've got all these other faces that are in the way. Just grab these guys and move them. Including this guy. So in the left view here, you'll see that the polygons that would be tucked in here from the corner of the eye to the nose are not polygons that you normally would be able to see. Okay. And this face here it didn't match the image plane the other direction, and now it's not quite matching there, so I just have to scooch it a little bit. Something like that. Okay, so same story here though. Vertices just go left or right. So you'll see that these are all starting to match up. This one's a little bit high. But now we start actually tucking them back to the left to get them to match. So I'm just saying I created the template so that all the polygons would be visible. It doesn't mean it's a perfect human's face. In other words, in fact, it's not really supposed to be a perfect human's face. What it's supposed to be is a template so that you can then take whatever face you end up creating with this, turn it into somebody's real face. Okay. So really what it does, it gives you the polygons you need, but you're going to have to be doing a bunch of pushing and pulling on these vertices to make them correct for whatever famous person or celebrity or whatever you choose to try and animate for this class. Okay, so that's the blue row. What I would do is come back to the front and just make sure this border is selected again. Hold down Shift. Just scale in another row of polygons. It doesn't have to be in really far because you don't want to get confused about where these upper ones go because they don't, their polygons are kind of small here from this view. So this view is obviously the easiest to see the polygons in. So you want to make sure that you get it right in this one view and then get it the best you can in the other views because it gets a little bit difficult around the eye. Mostly if you understand that one polygon is connected to another polygon, you can kind of figure it out when you're looking at it in the left view. Like I'll show you here in a second. When we go back to the left view, you'll notice that a lot of these lines look like they're really jumbled up on each other, but we're only talking about 3 rows of polygons. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So It's not that hard to figure out. In other words, don't get frustrated with it. Just look at it in perspective if it doesn't look right, and you can probably just push and pull your polygons until it looks more like an eye. I'm going to pull this one up just a little bit, and this one just to the left. Okay. So hopefully you'll enjoy using this. It's not mandatory. This is just if you want to do this. I found though that if you do have limited modeling skills, your chances of like creating a very nice face are going to be somewhat limited. But this technique here allows you to have a really nice start on a face, and then you can just, you know, take it from there and make it into whatever face you want. Okay? You would not create this template, I mean the face from this template, and then just leave it looking like this. Okay? You have to modify it to fit somebody else. So the way you would do that, let me bring the finished head back in place again. Okay, the way you would do that, if you brought in a face of, let's say, somebody famous, and you put it on this back image plane back here, what you would do, and do not mirror it over until you've finished changing it, but you'd probably do this in soft selection. I would just go into vertice mode, and you know, you may discover that their eye needs to be changed a little bit, so you would either increase the fall off or lessen it depending on what you need. And you know, you can move the eye shape around. I would just grab one vertice with the fall off set, you know, a certain way. You may find out that, you know, here the fall off needs to be a little higher. You know, you have to maybe fatten up their skull a little bit, or you may find out that you've got a situation where they've got, you know, very sunken in cheeks. So you'll be moving this around to match your person, okay? The biggest thing you'll probably discover is that their whole nose has to go into a different shape or a different position, you know, so you don't want to move left or right like that, or at least you don't want to affect your center vertices. If you did, like if you did something like this, you could come back and grab all your vertices at the center, and then let me just grab them without soft selection on. You probably do this one vertex at a time, actually. You just right click and just send it right back to the center of the world like that. Okay. If you were doing a bunch of them, what you would do is grab all the ones that you want to be at the center of the world that happen to be right on the center of the face. Let's say it's those. You would just use the scale tool, scale them so that they're perfectly straight. And I'm bringing the mouse numerous times across. And then you can just grab the move tool, right click on the X value down here, and that would send it to the center of the world. Okay? All right. I'm looking forward to seeing the heads that you create.